Hi guys, in this video I will show you how to use and take full advantage of Google Forms. Let's get started. To access Google Forms, you have to be logged into your Google account, and then you can either come here and go on the Google Drive and then head to New and then go on Google Forms and start creating a new form from here. You can also just simply come to Google and type Google Forms, and it will also direct you to the place where you can start creating your forms from here. So if this will be your first time accessing Google Forms, you will be given option to take a tour, which is just basically showing you that where you can add the question, how you can pick the theme, and that's really all. And I will show you all of that in this video anyway. So now, first of all, let's give our form a name, and this will be just example form. And then you start going ahead and adding the questions. So this is where you actually enter your question. So let's say we're just asking your first name.
What's your name?
Taekwondo Motrin.
Now the next what you have to specify is the type of the answer you are looking for. Now question types are magically updated based on your question. That's just a pop-up message you're getting by Google, and it means that once you have entered your question, let's say first name, Google Forms automatically assume that you are looking for a short answer. So from here, if you click on the answer type, you see options between short answer, paragraph, multiple choices, checkboxes, drop-downs, file uploads, linear scales, multiple choice grid, checkbox grid, date and time. So these are all options you can set up on your answers for each and every question. So since we are looking for the first name, short answer is actually the one that we want to use, and then it will display right here. So the user who is submitting this form will be able to answer it by just simply providing a short text. Now what else you can do here is to then delete this section if you just don't want it anymore, and required tab here, it means that if you are enabling this, they will not be able to submit this form without providing the answer to this question, and there will be red stars displayed on this question, so they have to answer before they can submit the form. This means the question is not optional. Okay, from here as well you can duplicate this section, which I'm gonna click now, and then we're gonna type this one as your last name, and again we want to keep it required and use a short answer. Now let's do next one. To do next question, you can come right here and it will show you add question plus icon right here. Click on it, and again we can now maybe ask for your email address. Okay, again it will be a short answer. Now we're gonna put email address as required, and maybe next question we would like, where do you live? And here again Google suggests multiple choices, which I think is the right thing for this type of a question. So if users come here to submit this form, they don't have to actually type, they can just choose in between multiple choices. So let's say we're gonna put option 1 as USA, add option 2, you need to click on add another, and then you can click, let's say, UK, and carry on like that by adding as many options you would like. Now you can leave this one, of course, optional if you would like to. And then let's explore these features right here. So as you saw, this is adding new question, and you can continue doing so as many questions you have. Now next one right here is importing questions. So if you have another forms already, or you have done some forms before, you will be able to import them from right here. Now currently I don't have anything on this account, but if you are creating several forms and you have used something in the past, you can import them from here. Now the next option is here, add a title and description, and title and description is just something you could place above your form, but you already have example form and description anyways. So if you are sectioning your form and maybe you start new section and you just want to display title and description, what about next section of your form is, you can use this option right here. Now I will just gonna delete it for now. Now then you can add image. Now when you're adding image, you can upload image or just choose Google images as well. You can search for something, let's say, I don't know, rain. It's very rainy day today in United Kingdom. And then you just insert it right here. Now, this image will not gonna come as a question, but you do have an option to title it. So, for example, if you are doing something like quiz or you want to ask the question about the image, you can just write here, let's say, next 3 questions will be about photo below. And then you can continue and adding more questions again underneath regarding this image. Now, next you can also add videos. Similarly, by embedding videos from YouTube, you can search videos on YouTube or just paste YouTube URLs here. So you are not able to upload your video. You would have to upload your video on the YouTube first and then just use the YouTube link to insert it on your form. Now, this feature right here, add section, I think is very important if your form contains several and like quite a lot of questions. So if you use add section, which means that only these questions you have add here will gonna show on a section 1, and then people who are filling your form, they will have to click next and start doing a next section with the questions. So you can title your section. So for example, we could call this first section about you. And then the next section would be about your job or about your employment. And you can then just separate sections on your form. Why this is very helpful is if somebody loads your form, you give them link, they open the form and they see like 50 questions in a long row, they might just give up and they won't fill your form. While if you have these sections, it kind of shows that you have planned and structured your form for easy access, so they just go through the sections one by one and then they are able to submit the form. So that's about it on these options right here. If we come back up here, you are able to choose a theme and customize your theme, basically meaning some colors. You can add image on your header. So if we come back here, we can just pick one of the images right there, insert it, and then you will see it on the header of your form. If you are using this form for your company, you can add your company's logo right there, and then you can choose theme colors. You can click on this icon here and then you are able to choose and pick any color you wish. Let's say I'm doing my form about rain, so I'm just gonna go and pick some blue color from here. And then click on add and it will change the color of your form. Then you can also change the background color and set the font style, so maybe you want something playful. Okay, and you can see instant preview how it will look like. Now you can close this and you can continue working on your form, and if you want you can of course head back and change it again and just customize it the way you like. Then from this icon preview, it gives you preview how your form looking. Now here Google just tells you that they automatically saves your progress for 30 days. So if you are signed into your Google account, you can walk across devices and take a break without losing a step. Okay, so we can click on OK. And that's how your form look like now. So the questions you mark as required will display this red star right here. Okay, then from here you can undo and redo the last actions you have done. Now before we go and click on send, if you already have sent your form, then the responses will be available for you to see here, and you can also export these responses as a Google spreadsheet, which is really useful if you want to then work more on your data based on the responses you have received. And let's say you have sent out the form, you have received the responses, and there are some still links and forms that have not been filled by users. You can always come here and disable it, which means that your form is no longer accepting any responses. And a message for respondents, you can write here and say, you know, this quiz is now finished or something like that, and you won't be accepting any more responses anymore. Then let's leave this open again, and then under these settings you have options of making your form as a quiz. So I won't be going into much details of this right now. If you want more detailed tutorial about how to set up your Google form as a quiz, let me know in the comments, and that's something I can do later on. Now again, you can manage here how you want to receive your responses by collecting email addresses. You can also send responders copy of their response, By default, all of these options will be off. So if you want to enable them, you just come here and click, let's say, allow response to edit, which means that someone who has done your form, they can come back and edit their responses. And again, you can limit one response per link. So if you have sent somebody this form with their email, and they will be able only to click once on the link and submit only one response. So again, it really depends what kind of forms you are making and how you want to process data you have received. So you can come and select these options right here. Now, presentations manage how the form and responses are presented. So it gives you option of showing progress bar. Again, this is helpful if you have a long form and you want to show people that they have completed maybe 20% out of your form, so they are aware where they are. You can again put this one on. Now, shuffle questions order, I'm not really sure what kind of form that could be useful, because it just basically means that your questions that you have set on the form will be randomly shuffled. So if you have done sections like about you, about your employment, about your hobbies, you want them to keep in that order. So just be careful, and I basically would recommend leaving this off. Now from here you can edit your response once somebody have submit your form. Currently by default will be just your response has been recorded. You can add like thank you and something like that. Now if you don't want to limit one response per link, you can show link to submit another response and keep it enabled right here. Okay, if you would like to share the results of your form or the responses, you can share them right here with everyone who have taken part. That again will depend what kind of form you are submitting. And from here you can disable autosave for the respondent as well. Now here are some form defaults you can set up. So if you are doing several forms and you always want to collect email addresses, you can just enable it right here. And then again, here gives you option to make questions required by default. So if you are creating the form where every single question is required, you can just enable it right here, and every question will be required on any form you create. So this is default settings that will be applied to any form you're going to be creating from now on. Alright, so now we can head back to the send and see how we can actually send this form. Now again, you can collect emails from here as well, the same as we just saw on the settings. Now you can send your form via email. So if you just type some email address, you can send it from here. You can add subject lines and messages right here, and then include the form in this email. Now from this option right here, you have a shareable link. You can even shorten it right here, and you can just share this link to invite participants to submit your form. And from here again, you have embed HTML code you can embed. So on this channel we are doing a lot of tutorials about Google Sites, and for example, if you want to embed your form, you can just take this HTML code. You can even specify the size of the form right here, and then you can copy this link. And for example, if you are opening one of the Google Sites websites that I have built, if you come here and then double click and then click on embed, you can click on embed by code and just insert your form right here, and it's there. So for example, you could use this form on your contact us page as well, and that will work not just on Google Sites anyway. You can use it on any HTML website builder as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, click that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, click subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and if you click the notification bell, you will be notified whenever we upload new videos, and we do so every single week. Now go ahead and watch this video as the next one, and I will see you there.